All right, here we go. All right, peace and light, family. The name of this one today we'll be talking about is the price of everything. Know the price of everything and the value of nothing. All right, so I'm gonna be looking at both of these screens. I got my screen up on my computer and down here. All right, so the price of everything and the value of nothing. All right, so what I want to go to and what I mean by that is basically that the things that we value, much of our jewelry and cars, the things that we put insurance on. Nevertheless, right, the things that we put insurance on are the things that we value, right? Because we want to make sure that if something happens to those things, that we're then covered, right? So the price and the cost of what we actually decide what's most valuable to us, we label, right? And there's a demand for those different types of things, but the value of water is less valuable because of the price that it is and what it costs and how much we see it and it's in abundance, right? So we don't really time to take in to understand what the value of water is until we have it. You never know what you got till it's gone. And what I mean by that is that if we understood that the water that is being pushed onto come out our tap has less energy than say spring water or mineral water, right? Then what we're doing ourselves is a disservice, right? Because the things that we put and invest our money on, such as cars and so forth, and premium gas and all those different types of things that we use to fuel our engines, our vehicles, we don't put premium. We have to put premium in our body, right? And the reason why I say that is that the premium in our body helps that engine to run better, right? And when we start to put that premium octane, what's going on, B? How you doing, bro? When we start to put that premium octane into our body, then our body will be able to produce, right? So knowing the value of everything, right? Knowing the price of everything and the value of nothing really hurts our economy because our economy dictates what our price is. It dictates what we charge to the customers. It dictates how we go about business, right? And what it does is sets what is a false a facade basically on one set of things and to outweigh the other, like the value of water, right? The things that we need, the value of food. Those things and those possessions are, hold on, I think I got somebody who's coming in. Hold up. Peace, bro. You here?
Come on, son.
Okay, all right, I'm coming. All right, one moment. I got somebody coming in through the door. Hold on, that's going to join us. When we get enough people in here, man, we're gonna start going that way, though. All right. Facts. Some people. All right. I think I'm gonna have to start it over. Let's see. Let me know. Okay, all right. That's still cutting, so we'll still go. Okay, so we're talking about the price of everything and the value of nothing. So the price that is dictated to us by our economy determines what the people are going to actually pay. So as much as the demand goes up, the price goes up. The more exclusive it is, the more the price goes up. And what that does
Price is always going up.
It's always going up.
It never comes down.
And it's dictated by us being able to want to scale because scalability is what is essential to a growing population, right? So you always have the tendency to create an urge, but then when you do that, you shorten the process. So now, anytime you shorten the process, there is a trade-off because everything has to be there has to be some type of compensation, some type of thing that balances the scale. So if you're looking for a faster product, faster resources, and so forth, then you may lose quality, efficiency, all those in the value, right? So, we pay for the price of everything, knowing what the price is, but the value is nothing because the value decreases. So what this happens, this goes into Gresham's law, where the thing that is of less value is in circulation more than the thing that is of value, right? So what I want to do is put more of the attention onto the water product itself because, like I said, that like when they first created silver and gold and those different types of things, it was 99% gold or silver, and then what happened is people started hoarding what was more valuable, and then what they did was what they put the circulation of the lesser coins and the lesser value things into play. And one of those things that where it actually affects our the way that we look at our society, we look at the jewelry, the gold, all these different things that has a price tag on it as far as validating ourselves and validating our worth, right? So this is going to be the illusion of getting what it is that I need to get out of life in order for me to be stamped as successful. Where not putting the heavy value on water, food, organic, those different types of things. So now what we do is start to separate ourselves from the organic ways, and then go into the man scalability ways and the material aspect. And the more we bond and attach ourselves to the material aspect of things, then we create a bond, and our energy is stored in that matter, and in that relationship that we have. And then once it's stored in there, it's locked in. It's locked
mental
in.
chain, and it goes back to us attaching, like you just said already, attaching yourself to things that don't carry no weight or carry any worth. You know what I'm saying? And it creates that mental bond on you, and that's why it's imperative. And one of the secrets, so-called secrets to life, is really not being attached to anything, because they create this sense of scarcity in the world, and now people are thinking that everything is scarce now. And now it's just like you said, they hoard things like silver and gold and precious metals, which, and how are they scarce? They're all over the place, and it creates that mental bondage and keeps people in fear of losing these things. And it's just like, and that's what gets people a lot. So they're thinking everything's gonna run out, which it's not true, and it keeps them from it keeps the cycle, it keeps the recyclement of the earth, of the water, of the precious metal from happening, because instead of letting these things go and putting them back to their environment so they can come back to you fresh and anew, people hold on to them in the mindset of scarcity, and it causes the systems to insert the fake things now into the system, because it's like people just hoarding these things.
And it's basically like a fight or flight syndrome, where you start to fear something. And a large part of that goes with me, even with the water scarcity, or they're saying the water shortage, where we've always had the same amount of water on this earth, on this planet, since the beginning of time.
Since the beginning
of
time.
So how are we literally losing water when the same things that is created then gets destroyed and gets released back into the... So my thing is that either they're hoarding water somewhere, and to create more of a demand or importance on it, right?
They don't even have to hoard it. They just literally have to just tell people, and people just believe it.
And that's a fact too. As well. Right.
You would literally be in the midst of a pool or in the ocean, and they're telling you, "Oh, there's a water shortage." Huh? I'm standing in water right now, and people actually believe it. But that's how you know they've got people to a point where they can't even rationalize sense from nonsense anymore.
Well, they do have mountains, though. I say that You know what I mean? Where you can see the water level slowly decreasing,
yeah.
like over time. So you can see the water level that is dropping in a lot of these different areas.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I go in even with the stealing, because all that water mixes up somewhere.
Exactly.
Right?
It goes somewhere else.
It
It's
mixes
not
and
running.
goes somewhere.
It goes somewhere else.
So if you and there was a movie on Netflix where, oh, what's up, bro? What's going on? I see you, K-Tron, the Wolf of R&B, my man. And but when what happens is, they did in the Netflix documentary with water. They talked about how California literally moved and shifted the water underneath the Californians, and they literally held water. Oh wait, hold up, my man Reg here. All right, hold on. Let's see if I get him. Hold on, real quick, fam. We got some more people entering. These days, bro. You make yourself some room, bro, on the couch.
Good to see you.
How you doing, bro? See your workout thing, bro.
Hey, bro, you can move those bottles up, put them on the
These right here?
No, the ones that's on the couch, wherever you want to sit at, the ones right there.
Oh, I see you saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm about to come open the door.
Bro, you with me, K-Tron? Man, I see you, man, on the move these days, man. You all up, man, in New York, man, and moving, man. I know, man. I appreciate you tuning in, bro, man, because we talking about this Waternomics, man. You know that's a passion and love of mine, man, for the most part, man. And this economy, man, nowadays, man, everything is tied, man. So we just trying to connect these dots, man, so that we can heal our environment, you know. A lot of that has to do with the conditioning. So we got some brothers, man, that we get together, man, here in the water hole, man, and we actually get together and we talk about the problems in our community, and then we look to solve them, man, with water as a solution being that. So, uh, you know, hey, yeah, the hustle is serious on both of our ends. I know it, bro. I know it, man. I know you keep me grinding too, man, because I see how you moving, man. Utmost respect, man, to you too, bro. I gotta catch a show though, for real, for real.
Brother Keenan right here.
Peace, Keenan. How you doing, bro?
Nice to meet you.
All right, nice to meet you. All right.
Yes, sir.
Peace with you, bro. How you doing?
Yes,
sir. Let's do well, my bro. Always good to see you. Yes, sir. Yes,
Man,
sir.
we can have a seat. Yeah. You can sit right there. Yep. So, what we talking about discussing is everybody, we all know the price of everything and the value of nothing. And that's really kind of coming down to, normally nobody don't really see me with a gold piece, but I have a gold piece. You know what I mean? And that's basically what I'm getting to in this video more so, man, and talking in this discussion is that, we put so much emphasis on and price on the things that we think that matters, but that really doesn't. But we bond to these material things, which leads and keeps us in control. You know what I mean? And then we get dictated to by the economy, and the price of this is going up or the price of that is going up, and it constantly dictates our movements. And that's why I say we're water, because literally water moves to an area of less concentration.
Exactly.
Right? So you're talking about diffusion, right? So when things start to get crowded or things start to move, we're literally being drawn in different areas based on how we move. So this kind of really, kind of alludes to that point of understanding, like, we are water and we're being manipulated by banks because banks control the distribution of currency, right? So if we understand how we move and we flow, then if we detach from the thing that connects us all, which is the environment, and leads us to the original source, then what happens then? We become more valuable on man and his medication and so forth, man, and then that literally dictates how we spend our currency. And then we spend it for the eternity or forever on the ages at that point in time, man. And I really want to get it put back into the source, which is water. Water is our original source of where we have to put our currency back into because it literally flows through all things. And anytime you make something of material, right, and you use water to go into it and to make it, right, but then that water is held in there, right, because we already know everything is still vibrating, but it's vibrating at a pace that we don't see. So water has eternal energy because water continuously moves, right? Even as it sits in the bottle, it's steady moving, so it steady possesses eternal energy and turns kinetic as soon as you move it from one spot to the next. Everything that's built within this desk is locked in, so it's not going to move. The energy is held in here unless I burn it and set it on fire and free the energy of it. So literally what we want to do is be able to free ourselves from the material things and be more connected to the universal where we don't have to worry about disease. You know, we don't have to worry about any of those other different types of things. When water flows in through our system and our business system and runs effectively, then, you know, we don't have to worry about as much, you know what I mean, because everything would be taken care of because it's literally being watered, right? So, you know, yeah, that's see, we got a couple more people. All right. See my cousin and his lovely wife. I see you. See y'all. Peace, man. Y'all got any questions or anything, or y'all want to add anything to the topic? You know, definitely let us know. But it's knowing the value of it, knowing the cost of everything and the value of nothing. You know, and that's basically what it is. You know, I kind of got that line from Jay-Z too. You know, that's my guy. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it, you know, it's something that's dear to us, man, because, you know, our economy is really destroying our people, man, just based off of the stress and the dehydration, you know, and all these different things that continuously lead us into a matrix.
Yeah, I'm about to say that, and like the what's called, like, it's like a never ending rat race. Like everybody trying to chase that cheese and the money, and it's like, yo, this shit ain't never gonna stop. Excuse my language. But
No,
like it's never gonna stop, and people are compromising who they really are just to get to something, and then you get to the end of the road and you like, what was this for? You know what I'm saying? So I was just talking to my wife about that. Like, I asked her, what is enough? And like that was like my whole thing about, like, really, what is enough? Like, to the point, like, do we have everything we need? Like, are we sustaining? Are we giving more to our children? If that's the case, then what is enough? Like, what am I trying to stress over buying this stuff? And it's like great to have more, but it's like, if it's not to the point where it's fulfilling internally, then what is enough?
What exactly?
What is enough?
Yeah,
and you constantly see that even with celebrities that, you know, kill themselves and go through different types. I mean, like, you know, there's a lot of that goes on, man, and we thinking that that's the answer for a lot of different things, and it's not, you know.
Well, and it's funny how that ties back in, came full circle, because they, quote unquote, sold their soul thinking that, you know, for something that they thought had value, and then when they got it, they realized it had none whatsoever. So now it's just like, I done gave up everything. I done gave up my morals, and I gave up my, quote unquote, soul for something that I thought I had value. Now I'm here and it adds absolutely zero value. So now what else am I going to do but kill myself?
Right, and with a lot of that, you always hear freedom of speech. So we all look to have that because that speech is an outlet to us. It's an outlet for our energy, and anytime our energy is looked to be contained within us, then it literally breaks down our kingdom inside. So you always hear about that whole freedom of speech, and, you know, artists, the very, very good ones, they are able to express how they go and what they go through in life through song and through verses.
But those are real artists.
Right, those are the real artists.
That had
even
value
actors.
within themselves before they even got into the whole field and whatever. They understood their value.
And then they actually teach you, you know what I mean? They take you to trips around in your brain where you can actually feel and relate to some of the things and the topics that they actually go through, which I think is dope to be able to do that, right? You know what I mean? But when you're not able to express yourself in your creativity or whatever it may be, drawing or your business, because business is a large reason why we get into business, is because we're creators, we're entrepreneurs. So then we want to create what it is, the world that we see fit. You know what I mean? Like,
that's real.
Again, all it's crazy. You just said it keeps going full circle. Everything you just talked about is value, and the value that you have inside yourself. Remember, everything you experience in life, everything you go through, every environment you step in, is a reflection of what's inside your mind.
Right.
So if you step into these realms without actual values, then it's like the environment is gonna change you and it's gonna mold you because you didn't go in there fully. You know what I'm saying? You didn't go in there full of yourself, and you see it happening in the military a lot too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You go in there, people go in there without valuing themselves, and they're able to be molded and formed and transformed into whatever people want it to be. Same thing going back to the artists. If they never valued themselves prior to getting into those environments, when they go in there, they won't be able to fully express themselves because what that's going to do is going to pull out of them things that they never actually had, or it's going to expose whatever loneliness or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's like money doesn't, it only exposes the things that you already were.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you always had a sense of lack, it's just going to amplify that 10 times. Right?
You ain't gonna buy
exactly.
all that shit, and you still ain't gonna.
Exactly, because you always you were never full in the first place. So being in those environments, it's not going to fool you.
Real, right?
It's just going to amplify that emptiness that you already had inside.
And that's where we're all moving to become whole, right? So like that's part of our journey of fulfillment of life, I think, mostly is to look to become fulfilled. And I talk about that even through this elements chart where you have your earth elements on this side, your alkaline earth metals, and then in the middle part right here, you have your transitional metals. And then on the far right side right here, you have your gases, you know what I mean, your noble gases. So we're all on a mission to become noble, you know what I mean, noble men. But we go through these transitional metals, you know what I mean, experiencing different parts of life that's going to make us whole. Because every atom, which we all are made up of, right, has to have 8 electrons in its outer orbital shell in order for them to be complete. We go through basically radioactive decay when we have too much energy. Too much energy not being able to release causes cancer, basically. And it's the same type of things where cancer, where they actually cut cancer and then it releases all over the body and it becomes more toxic. So just understanding the nature of what an atom is and how we're atoms and how it harnesses the energy from lights and so forth, man, like you start to really realize exactly how we're being used and played and manipulated in this game because you know what I mean? What we're talking about is energy. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. And they will use tools to cut out and remove cancer physically, but they won't use energy, the same thing that they use to detect the cancer in the first place. They use energy, MRIs and all these different, which is energy to detect it, but they don't remove it with energy.
Which is crazy because in science they say energy is not destroyed.
It's not created or destroyed.
Law of conservation.
Law of thermodynamics. Right? One of the
right.
laws of thermodynamics. And it's
I don't know.
And another one that ties into what you were saying. Earlier you were saying that, you know what I'm saying, that, like how the riverbanks control where the currency and the water is going and things. And so that's also and water would transfer to a place of less water. That's also another. You said it. That's also another law of thermodynamics that heat or energy would flow to a place that's lacking that doesn't has less, and until it reaches the equilibrium.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's another one of the laws of thermodynamics as well.
So it's all engineering.
I know, we get a whole science.
Yeah, whole scientists over here.
Like Niels Bohr and Tesla.
But the question I'm about to ask you is, I know you got a company and stuff. Like how long did it take you to get the company? Like what inspired you to jump on water?
Word. So what initially got me tuned into water is that when I came into urban areas, I always stayed in urban areas. When I came into those stores, they never had good quality water. So my cousin actually had this water, and he used to sell drugs. Right. So let's keep it a buck. But I ain't never seen him sell anything else, and yet he was gonna sell me some water, so it baffled me right then and there. I was like, stupid. So I was like, let me try this.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, water tastes, you know what I mean? Like normally, if you go to a store and you see water for $4 and you see water for $1, you like, get this $1 water, man. Like I don't know nothing different, right?
Yeah, of course.
Tried that. And I was like floored by it. So then I started doing my research. Then I started looking like, yo, why ain't Fiji good water? Why isn't it sold in our urban areas and in our stores? Like, yo, you can sell us everything else, gold, Lexuses, all these other things you can market and advertise
Chinese
to it.
food.
Right, but you don't do that. Another thing, where's our athletes at? You can market as Gatorades, Cokes, Pepsis, all these different types of sugar. Who sells water? See what I'm saying? So then it became a large gap within our community, and that's what told me and said, okay, well, we got diabetes, we got all these different health conditions that is plaguing our community. How can we get in? And then like, how can I circumvent this system and making sure that we're not left behind, because water builds up everything and it's never left behind, and it goes and gathers in the lowliest grounds and raises everything that moves. So that's what got me into water, man, because I wanted to be able to heal our people, man. Ultimately. So
like you said,
so it took me even deeper, because then I started even thinking about, like, what if I'm being used to set my people up, per se? Because what if alkaline water ain't it's just a word, a euphemism word that makes people feel good, right? So then I started looking in more into that, like, is this really doing what it's supposed to be doing for us, right? Well, alkaline is basically the opposite of acidity. Right, so we have acidic conditions, which is plaguing our bodies, right? And then I started understanding that, right? It's all acid, right? And fat literally helps to preserve your organs. So basically, what acid does, your fat actually stores acid until your body's able to flush it out of the system. So it's literally protecting the organs, right? So within our body, acidity is something that plays, and what happens is our body naturally has to draw from bones or other deposits in order to neutralize that if it doesn't have the water to be able to flush it out. So in our community, that looks like a cracked sidewall, broken down buildings, glass, all these different types of things in acidic condition, where we don't have enough resources to actually help to neutralize our acidic conditions, right? So now I'm saying we can add water and help water flushes, balances, and neutralizes all different types. I don't care whatever level of toxicity or acid, water can balance and neutralize. So why can't we use water to do the same thing in our communities? And they have built aqueducts and all types of things throughout history, Egyptian, Greek, any type of history, with water. So if my people are struggling, why can't we utilize water in a way to help us benefit ourselves in the same exact capacity? Like, there's no reason for us not to be able to do so.
That's real.
So that's where I literally wanted to make sure that, because it's energy, and energy is stored in water. So like, if my people are dying because of the lack of energy, because stress causes dehydration, and dehydration causes further stress, then we need to release the stress. We need to release the stress, so then you don't need to drink as much water. And then if your body's hydrated, then you don't need to have to keep chugging down more and more. If I'm not working so hard to scale and make my job so fast for everybody else, then I don't need to consume as much resources, because I don't need that much. You see what I'm saying? Everything flows back to, it gets right back to the basics of saying Mother Nature takes her time to do everything, yet everything gets completed in the timely fashion. So, and I say that laughing because I'm steady moving and I'm trying to slow my ass down for myself, right? Because I always feel like I'm going against the clock, man. And knowing this is always half the battle. But when you have a group of people that rule and move with you, it helps to shoulder the load.
Yeah.
And that's literally what water molecules, so like, they constantly moving. But if you ever seen surface tension of water, like if a shark is busting through the water, you'll see a film of water right over the shark. You see what I'm saying? Surface tension, those are molecules of water, they hold tight together at the top. That's why the Jesus lizard can run on top of water. So molecules hold tighter on the surface than they do below. You know, so it's just philosophies, man. We learn those different types of principles, man, that deals with water. It explains our relationships with each other. It explains everything for me.
I mean, like the way you broke that down for like things that's plaguing our community, and the way you kind of put it in the simple context for just water. Like, bro, a lot of people need to hear that. Like, for real, like, and
Right.
for you to put it like that, man, that makes.
And that's all, like, Jai has the meetings been on Saturdays, which is dope. And it's like you have so many very smart brothers that are organizing group. And on level of conscious, my brother Reggie over here, man, is a wealth of knowledge too, super. And when I used to go through these and I listened, things made sense. But I'm thinking about when I went through school, a lot of that stuff, I wasn't in high college CP classes, man. So I didn't relate to or see how that information that you were teaching me related. Hell, I even quit football to work at KFC because I was like, football's too far. I got to go through college to make money. And I was like, nah, I need money now.
Yeah.
Had they been paying people in college that they're trying to do now, I would have been pro. I'd have definitely, undoubtedly, but I left. You know what I mean? So once again, drawn towards the money. I mean, when you're drawn towards certain things, man, then you know what I mean. You're gonna get exactly what you're gonna be chasing it all the time, man.
And it's like I was saying, it's a never ending chase.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that you said that though, because I was at a conversation with my wife and my pops about that. I was talking about being in a position to be, I would say, like, free, but the closest to freedom as we possibly can, to the point when we have everything we need, to the point when we can start to really create, like what you're talking about with like building enough where we move out of this wealth gap, but we don't have enough. The basic things that we needed, and for us to build on top of that, I don't want like $100 million, but I want enough where I can see a need somewhere, like something with the water, and we can fulfill that need within us, building real communities. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but it's crazy. Like, even as you're saying that, it's just reminding me that it's like you were saying earlier, it's really not about the money, bro. It's really about the things of value.
Yeah.
When we start valuing each other, valuing each other's time, valuing each other's resources, and we start depending on each other, we realize that nothing that this system has to offer is what's going to save us. Only we can save ourselves. But we have to realize the value is not outside of us, the value is inside of us.
Yeah, I was about to say like this.
Start with yourself and then go to your brothers.
Yeah.
Then go to your family, then go to your community. Then that's how we create that value back within ourselves. Like we just said, the value people that go into these different environments, and the environment just amplifies the emptiness that they already have inside of them. That's what they're doing to us. They're making us value things outside of ourselves, outside of our people, outside of our community. So then when we go into these systems, they just amplify that and just keep pulling things out of us, right? Because we not realizing that we have the actual value. We need the batteries that continue to charge this world and keep it flowing, keep their system going. Yep. So the minute we put that value back inside ourselves, inside of our communities, right? We have everything we need. We have a water company, right? We have everything we need. Right? The minute we start putting back, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The minute we start putting that energy back into ourselves, we start valuing ourselves. The money won't even matter because we keep circulating our own energy in our own community.
And I think a big, like we talked about it a couple meetings ago at your joint about trust. So
Trust.
It's always hard to find the trust and the focus that in, right? So building within myself, sometimes I've run from building within myself to build within others, right? And it can be looked at both ways. So like selfishly, I can say, yeah, I can just go ahead and put it all into myself and just stay here and just make sure I can sell my water and be good, right? And then you know, after I fill whatever amount of money or whatever amount, then I can go ahead and give out to others, right? Or I can say, I'm gonna go ahead and put it into the relationship of a bond that I need or something like that with somebody else. Hold on, like I can kind of look at it and let me see. Yo, peace, bro. Man, good, man. We at the church, man, for the Waternomics joint. Okay. Okay. I don't know if I got it with me, man, up here. But I'm up here at the church. I'm up here at the church, though. Okay. Okay. All right, peace. Yeah, that's my guy, man. And that's he's a big push, man, for why I see the way I see it. You know what I mean? You know, like, we talk like. So hold on, what was it? I was on something.
Oh yeah, now you was talking about
The trust and
Oh,
outside of
right,
yourself.
right. The trusting outside, right. So it's selfish and selfless. So the selfless goal, because I know that we have trust issues, is to try to form the trust.
Mm-hmm.
So one of those things that I was able to do even with my own business, because of what I charge, and when I first started, you know what I mean, I started charging. I was like $35 for a membership. You either get a case, or it's 28. You either get a case or a 5-gallon, right, of water. So because of the value of what that was, I knew it wasn't going to appeal to everybody.
Yeah.
So those who understood it right from the jump, guess what they did? They jumped on. And then my cousin, distributors and so forth, it was like, well, how do we get, other people to buy? I said, look, what we do, everything is not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's for the conscious collective.
Wisdom is available to the ears that are open for
Right.
it.
That's powerful.
Right.
That was a question I was about to ask you too, because me and my wife have that conversation a lot. Like, so I'm not originally from Maryland, but just like any hood in America is obviously the same. It don't matter if it's from Chicago, New York.
Right.
Any hood's the same. We all have that trust issue.
Right.
And one of the biggest things that we face, what she faced being in the hood, is like, when I get this money, this business, like, do I keep it here? Like we was talking about, like do you keep it here? Like you spread out, and it's like, that was what you said was very powerful to me, because like is ways of unlearning these trust issues and just understanding how we're gonna push it forward and not worry about the people who wasn't on board. We just focus on
the people
who are
one by one,
because that's how every big time business or corporation actually get it. It was the small group or wherever, and then that's literally the trickle down effect of the economy, man. By the time they put it on the stock market, it goes to your bank. You're literally getting pennies, fractions of pennies, or that. With all those that jumped in early,
they already had them. They already got
so
the
they
full.
get cut out early. So like it's that aspect to which I say it builds us a core relationship with people.
Absolutely.
And then from there, we're able to go ahead and know, okay, well, look, man, y'all was with us from the jump.
Yeah.
So then what I actually did, I started giving all our members 2 5-gallons in 2 cases when things was getting good. We just reduced it this month because of the gas and all that.
Oh, yeah,
so we reduced it back to 1, though.
Yeah.
But they, nobody trips. Everybody's like, all right, man, we'll do what you got, because everybody get it. So then they share it with other people that's going to get the idea.
Yes.
And then that's how we grow.
Yes.
So then, like, we $1 billion, could we have really went on that? We was really focusing on water? Absolutely. But that's not, my mission was to create a system.
Yes.
And that's the biggest dream, though. That's the realistic thing that I would love to attain. It's not even about like you said, not $100 million. It's just about you have the people that you need, and you doing it for your people, and it's a noble, and it's something that's full of purpose, and that's worth more than any money could get.
Absolutely.
That's the real value.
Yeah, that is right there. Like what you
We,
said.
the system that we're creating, that's the real value.
Yeah, like that's
nothing outside of that.
And the real man, I just want to celebrate you for real, man.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So like this is literally kind of like the 4th phase of that development, at a sense, man. So because the Waternomics aspect of it really kind of brought everything, which is where I just really kind of got that, and then I drew that picture right up there, right, where everything is connected. So it shows, how we move within the body, how energy flows from the outside, inside the body, all the way inside the cell, and then back out again. So that's literally a water cycle, and how we understand that aspect of it, man, is how we create our system.
Man, that's definitely like visionary, because when you put it down on paper, when you get to see it every day, that actually makes a difference. Like I learned how to do that now, like putting down my goals or things that I visually see that's like, this like the mission. This is what I'm trying to do. It helps. Visually see that it really helps, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, we're creators, man. We got. It helps us. It helps us to strive and continue to strive when we can see where it is that we're looking at, man. Or we can draw it, or we can visually. Like I had to visually draw it or write out stuff in order for it to make sense to me. Yeah. Right. And then you have to teach it, to find somebody to teach it to see if it makes sense. Because now with the visual and where I'm at and understanding, he was like, Dad, man, I've known you 4 or 5 years since you. But now, what you just said makes so much more sense than when you said it 5 years ago. You know what I mean? It's just right. But and then like Ja was talking about a minute ago, like this literally takes chemistry, physics, engineering.
That's the website for the family spring as well.
Oh, okay.
I just texted on the website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I looked at the person like, who just texted me?
Yeah. So that's literally what it is. You know what I mean? And then. Like we was talking about, we find solutions to our problems. So, water being a universal solvent, and then alkaline. The earth metals are solutes. So anytime you put a solvent with a solute, you get a solution. Right. So you get a solution to the world's problems, man.
That's real.
Which is water. Like I said, I don't make it up.
It's already there.
It's already there. All I did
honest,
was connect it and put it together. To be honest, man. So
but honestly though, the solution, I say to the world problem is first the solution to ourselves, because we're the ones that's gonna heal the world. Ain't nobody else gonna do it with us. Every other race is concerned about just consuming, destruction.
Man.
We the ones that was placed on this earth to take care of the earth. And we the ones that's gonna have to heal it.
Well, we're the ones that's gonna be immediately impacted and affected, because heal the man, heal the land. That's what that other picture represents.
That's all I asked you too. Okay.
So we're directly connected to the soil of different continents.
Yes.
So God made us, Creator made us, and whoever you want to believe in, you're made from the inside out. So you ain't just start putting your skin on and all that stuff, man, and then be like, yo, shove up your butt to put your organs. Nah, your organs and all that stuff was created, and then you was encapsulated, or whatever. So so you're created literally from the dirt and all those organisms, and this is why it's important to be connected to the environment and travel and to eat different types of food. Different ranges of color, because all those different things has to connect the soil from outside to the soil inside the body. So when there's a part, and every organ needs different types of minerals. Right. So when we're not getting those different types, then the energy is stagnated. It doesn't flow properly, and then that's when we start to have diseases. So when certain things they're doing deforestation and certain things in certain areas, then there may be a epidemic or some type of disease that actually affects the cells, right? Which we're living cells. So then those who are directly impacted, everything is universal.
Because they're cancers. They're cancers. That's what cancer, destruction, deforestation, it's a form of cancer, because they're just eating through the body of the earth. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And it's going to affect the cells. So
it's messing with the weather, the sun. You know what I'm saying? That's messing with us, because we're now, all of us are being vitamin D deficient, and now it's like they're extending the winter, keeping it cold and keeping us away from the sun. So now we're getting less, the vitamins that we need from the sun. You know what I'm saying? They're covering it over now. It's always cloudy and stuff like, y'all need to chill out, man.
And that's why I always go into the environment. So you know what I mean? We can train ourselves to be stronger mentally. You know what I mean? But even it can never really say, the environment, like we could just go inside and meditate, because the environment dictates the condition of what the cell goes through. So it's a part of the trained experiences that a cell learns. And we are living cells, and our cell membrane is our skin. So like you can burn your skin up and die, right? Because this is literally your largest brain. Because everything, receptors and all that stuff goes through that. So this is how we interact. So whatever we go through in our environment, it literally teaches the brain to react a different type of way. And we say, we can go inside, but even a Buddhist monk is in a different environment versus everybody else. He ain't in listening to ambulance, sirens,
Nah,
gunshots, and all that stuff. Right?
That.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, he is in a temple in a remote environment that's conducive to his health, that helps him to become strong and break bricks and walk on different types.
100%.
It's right. So, like, a lot of times we're like, yo, we can train ourselves, but, like,
in the environment, if you're not in the environment that's conducive to what you're doing, exactly.
The environment has so much.
So we
It
can't
plays
stay
so
here,
much.
man.
You know?
So we cannot stay here.
And that's what I said. It was like, even if we're doing what we're doing now, and we start to grow, and we become connected, and then we start to do the actions and put those things, then what happens is we start to cultivate
Our environment. Yes,
and we change the conditions.
Yes,
because,
we do.
and this is literally changing the inside. So every time we say inside, it'd be the inside of ourselves, but I'm saying the inside of our community.
Yeah, law of polarity from the inside
Right.
out. Yeah,
So like I'm saying the inside out right here, and then it automatically affect how our children grow up.
Yes.
Because I say we, man, but I speak loosely like that. But a lot of times, if I'm specifically focused on my daughter and and the generational wealth within my family, then I exclude the rest of your kids. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she's going to grow up amongst her peers. So what I have to do is learn to put that energy and say, okay, that's my daughter, but she belongs to God. She belongs to the Creator. The Creator's job is to watch over her. I'm to guide her, but protect her. And my job is to make sure that all his children is okay. You see what I'm saying? We get a lot of focus and we're like, yo, I got to make sure she's going to have everything that she needs, and she's going to be, and we get solely focused on us and our family, and then we end up losing the generation of those that are lost amongst our people. You know what I mean? And she's going to grow up and wander around them, and they may take from her.
Yeah,
but if I can help change the narrative of what they're doing, then now she can grow up cultivated in that, and then they are. So like that's my mindset for how that works.
It's crazy you said that, like, cause I have the very same mindset, and I think sometimes the old way of thinking, like growing up like in the hood, growing up with the negative people, people who just crab in the barrel, it sometimes creeps in where you have the distrust, you have that paranoia of like you want to help everybody. So like you said, like, cause like I got 3 kids as well, and I don't want them to be like, oh, we got so much money, we good, and then their friends is like, we got that. Like, how can we relate? How can we grow with each other if we on 2 different scales? Right. So I think the same way, like we should help everybody in our community. But even then, it's like moving out of that mindset of this scared distrust and like leaving that behind.
Scarcity.
Like,
that's the mindset.
Yeah, scarcity. Like it's that scare, but it's like when you leave that mindset, you're like, nah, we can find a way for everybody to eat. Mm-hmm. So like I was definitely agreeing with you, but I was just saying like, I'm moving into that mindset too. Like it don't have to be just me. Mm-hmm. It don't have to be.
And see, the world will have you think that it is just you, so it can leave you on that island and have you thinking like, yo, self-made millionaire, self-help book, everything's a self, man. It's basically masterbation.
You know what I mean? Intellectual masturbation.
Yeah, right. Because everything is self.
Literally. You hit it on the head.
And it's just, it crushes. You know what I mean? It crushes us to the point because then it checks our ego.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Because it's like, Dad, man, you asked for help, bro. You weak, man. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, man, where you strong at, though? Like, why am I going to waste time trying to get built where you already at?
Yeah, exactly. If we can combine and balance each other out.
What's easy, which is naturally gifted for you, you know what I mean? That is right. Like you lose no sweat trying to do that. Like I you know what I mean? Me doing marketing and promoting, helping people with ideas and doing, like that literally is easy. Like I feel cheating if I charge you, for something that like.
And that's how I be when it comes to people with their businesses and stuff like that. It's just like, I'm like, bro, this is what I do naturally. Like right. Sweat for me, though. Most of the things I do is just like, yo, this is what I do naturally. It's just me. Right. You know, so like you said, I'd be cheating if I ask you, you know what I'm saying, pay me for that shit.
The Lord gifted me with this joint, bro. Like, yo, you know what I mean? Now, if I got to work a little bit, man, then then that's what you're looking. But that's what energy, they say it's not work if you do what you love.
Exactly.
And then it's also not work when you retain the information if it is what you love. You see what I'm saying? Like I want to, if you give me two guys that build a bridge and one loves building bridges and he does it for way cheaper than the other guy, I'm going to rock on this dude bridge before the dude is getting all the money. Right. Yeah, because I know that bridge is going to be legit,
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm
and
cool.
And go back to our conversation on Saturday. That's the difference between having passion for something, and just doing what you got to do to survive.
Right.
We covered that on Saturday.
Yeah,
sure
did. Yeah. And that's why I was into it, because that passion thing, man, like that's something, most people like, yo, man, we buy your water because of the passion. Like, that's why you sell. I'm just like, well, because I believe it. Like, I'm not going to sell you it if I didn't believe in it, yo. Like, it's no doubt in my mind that I believe in what I sell, and that's why I do it. I wouldn't do it if it, and like literally I want to get to the point where I just get the information, but I know this right here is a cycle that will help everybody make money forever, and there shouldn't be no poor. You know what I mean? Literally. You know what I mean? We talk about the trickle down effect, and we talk about securing a natural resource, and everybody should be buying from down here. That's up here.
Yeah.
And then that's literally the trickle down, so you don't have to worry about anything, no government subsidies, any of the different type of stuff. If we hold the value down here and have them pay for what that is.
Absolutely. That's real, man. That's crazy. I was about to ask you this question too. Well, it's not really a question. It's something I thought about recently. Like, have you ever got to a point when, you got to the next level, like to a point of like the mental thought, like how you used to be to how you are now, in a sense of business, just as a man? Do you think now is normal to feel alone in that because now it's a new space, or do you now find a new type of, how can I put it? Do you find like a new goal to wrap yourself around that's to better yourself?
I think it's it. I'm trying to think of the dude's name right off the bat. So what I took from what you're asking is mountains. So there's always a different mountain for you to go up. As soon as you conquer one, then you have to go back down.
Each level has a new devil.
Right. So I look at it this way, and we was kind of getting into it the last Saturday, right? But everybody's a master of their own level, right? So you're a gatekeeper. Somebody, I look at myself as a gatekeeper. So until either I master or do what I'm supposed to on this level, then I ascend to the next level, right? Just like a video game. But at some point, you are the informative, the end-all, be-all guy for that level. So everybody that comes through you, you're literally challenging to make sure that they're pass-worthy to get to the next level. Right.
Bro, that's what I said to you last night. Gatekeepers.
He sent me. He took a picture of how.
Oh my God.
See?
Oh, hold on. Let me read it. That's crazy that y'all just said that. Let me read that. Hold on, let me read this real quick. The true student realizes the true student realizes most of all that the taking of degrees does not make a man a mason. A mason is not appointed, he is evolved, and he must realize that the position he holds in the exoteric lodge means nothing compared to his position in his spiritual lodge of life. He must forever discard the idea that he can be told or instructed in the sacred mysteries, or that his being a member of an organization improves him in any way. He must realize that his duty is to build and evolve the sacred teachings in his own being. That nothing but his own purified being can unlock the door to the sealed libraries of human consciousness, and that his Masonic rights must eternally be speculative until he makes them operative by living the life of a mystic Mason. His karmic responsibilities increase with his opportunities. Those who are surrounded with knowledge and opportunity for self-improvement and make nothing of these opportunities are the lazy workmen who will be spiritually, if not physically, cast out of the temple of the king.
That's crazy. I remember because you read me that quote on the phone, and I didn't even purposely say it for that, but I guess I'm on that level connecting. But
that's just certified stamps everything, man. The universe doesn't want you to lose.
Yeah.
Like it's not in the benefit, for the universe. And just like your body, like everything is geared towards growth and development. If you're fear, in flight all the time, man, then there is no growth and development because everything is in.
This is the other part, real quick, with the gatekeeper. But so you are the temple builders of the future. With your hands must be raised the domes and the spirits of coming civilization. Upon the foundation you have laid, tomorrow shall build a far more noble edifice. Builders of the temple of character, wherein shall dwell an enlightened spirit, chewers of the rock of relationship, molders of those vessels created to contain the oil of life, up and to the task appointed. Never before in the history of men have you had the opportunity that now confronts you. The world waits for the illuminated one who shall come from between the pillars of the portico. Humility, hoodwinked, and bound seeks entrance to the temple of wisdom. Fling wide the gate and let the worthy enter. Fling wide the gate and let the light that is the life of men shine forth. Hasten to the complete dwelling of the Lord, that the Spirit of God may come and dwell among His people and sanctify and ordain according to His law.
Gatekeepers.
And each one of us, man, hold or possess. Once because we're traveling. We're all traveling.
We're all builders.
And we're building, and basically what we are supposed to be doing is experiencing this world. As we go through experiences, those things are going to hold more memory to us. So as somehow the people be on a higher level, trained to thought and understanding the cosmos, and basically like Trey is super. But you know what I mean?
It's a whole different level.
He's a whole different
alien right there in disguise.
And he's super dope, right? But like if you just walked into the door and you listen, you might not even know where he's at. Like it makes perfect sense. You know what I mean? But you definitely have to be, and that's right. And so like there's levels to basically, and that's kind of where I always see myself kind of like, like there's an issue in God to say, hey, look, you can understand this, and then all this is connected, and this makes sense. You can rock it to wherever you need to go because you just got the tools that you need.
But the tools are inside you because.
But we don't know. With the way they break it up, they break it in astrology, then they put it in the dirt, in the soil, then they put it in the ocean, the oceanography, then they put it in,
So you ain't lying though. They break it up so
chemistry,
so you can't see it.
And put it in religion,
biology,
so all these other
stuff,
different things.
engineering.
And degrees literally means downward steps. It's degree. So when you literally going down steps, so the more you get into a concentrated degree, you literally put up blinders and able for you to move anywhere else that where the spirit may take you at. And you can't learn that way because then you become
just focus.
Then you become just focused on that joint, and
when something happens to that, you're shit out of luck.
Yeah, because
you gotta start all the way over.
I got a question there. I got a question for you. So when you're on your journey of like, I wouldn't say finding your purpose, all that, it changes. I think
the more knowledge you have,
I would say, the more enlightened, the more knowledge you have of just yourself and this everlasting growth. When you have a new ideology in your head, like, okay, this is what I'm attaining to, do you ever feel like it's taking longer to get there, or do you learn how to appreciate the time it's been taken?
That's one thing I need to learn myself is appreciate the time. Because like for me, and being water, I think I just found a quote that I had a long time ago where it was just like, talking about running waters. You know what I mean? And, I can make you feel anxious and so forth like that, man. And always, and like I'm always, and then that kind of goes into my Scorpio nature of just always feeling like, you know what I mean? Like, attaining hidden knowledge and to always go and doomsday and all these different types of things where
this quote I got for y'all
I'm the same.
You got I didn't mean to cut you up. It just clicked when you started talking. The man who life is sweeter to the man who enjoys the road to success, the road to the destination, than the man who enjoys the destination. Or the man
who enjoyed the journey more than the destination.
Exactly. Yeah, the man who enjoys the journey more than the destination has a better time. Or something on the that's kind of what
I get what you mean. Now the reason why I asked you is because I kind of like had that same vibe, like in the sense of like I'm trying to learn how to just like really slow down, like
be present.
Be present. It's not like I'm missing somebody, I'm missing something, but it's
you got a daughter?
Oh yeah, I got two girls.
Do they do that for you?
Yeah.
They bring it.
Yeah.
So the reason why I say that because I have my daughter, she does it, and she act like my mind will always be thinking about something else.
Yeah. Keep
and
running.
she'll, daddy. You know what I mean? Daddy. And then sometimes I'm even frustrated because I'm like I'm on a higher level, and then you just pulled me back, but you pulled me back from where I was at to be present and do it
right
to occupy.
Exactly.
Right
Kids do that.
I get you.
And sometimes it'll blow you because you're high.
Yeah, but
like,
then
you know, no, but then it's like, but the kids are always to bring you back to where your center is at, man.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm saying it to you. And it still doesn't stop me from saying it's the human, man.
Trust me.
Right.
Right there with you.
Right. Let me write this down, or you try to talk to me, and I'm like, and I don't want to make it seem like this is more important, but I'm going to lose this. You know? And what's crazy,
right quick.
I even see it in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like A Wrinkle in Time. I don't know if you've seen that.
You know, it's crazy. I've seen some of it, but the parts I seen, it was very pivotal when she was trying to talk to her father. And I seen that part, and I was like, oh, and I had to leave. I had to go pick her up from school, but I was like, hold on, wait. Because, like you'll see a movie and it hit on that level of, like, ooh, that meant something.
And there's quite a few of them that does that. So, like, it was the ending part where basically, you know, and I actually recorded because there's another one with, that's on Netflix now. He's a time travel. I forgot the dude, Ryan Reynolds, I think it is.
I know.
But he's a superhero or something?
No.
And he goes
he's
back.
with this female, and he's going back in time to find his like younger self, right?
Right.
I know exactly something.
Right. So that's on Netflix too, right?
It's on Netflix.
What is it?
It's so you talking about Free Guy?
Yeah.
Free Guy. No.
But it's an older one.
Max.
This movie's an older one.
No. This just came out. This literally just came out like last week. But if you ever go on Netflix, it's pretty much him. He mastered time travel, and he's going back for his younger self. But in that, he having moments of like kind of like a father moment.
Right. With Bruce. I can't think. The Hawk is in it. Right.
Yeah.
So
play the Hawk.
Okay. So in those two movies, there's a scene basically where it's always like the father has been chasing something. This life of A Wrinkle in Time was the same way the father is chasing this thing that he was trying to achieve and end up achieving and getting lost into it.
Almost every movie like that. Not Raiders of the Lost Ark. Tomb Raider. The new one that just came out. Her father, same thing.
So
lost his work.
Right. So that's the dad's, and it's even Indiana
and
Jones,
Dr.
Jones.
It's
a lot of.
Wait, what does that mean? Because it's always the daughter that has to go find him. And y'all literally just said that.
And that's it.
The daughters are the only one that brings y'all back.
I would say
the ones that brings you back.
What does that mean, though?
Old boy is talking about. I forgot his name. Your mentor. What's his name?
Oh, Rashid.
He was talking about that last time I was there. Last time I was at a meeting, he said something very pivotal that I thought about. He said a daughter is brought into this world to teach the father. It's like, and he said something that struck me. He said,
teach the mother.
Yeah, he said that you think you brought these kids in the world to teach them, but your creator brought them to teach you something.
The mirror, your reflection.
Yeah, and he was saying that he was like, sometimes the women are there it's an unbalance. It's something that wasn't checked when you was younger. So now when you have them, now it's like you can't run from what you didn't check. Now it's like it's a living, breathing example.
Absolutely right.
And this when he said that, I went home, I looked at my daughters, and it was just like the things that I had insecurities with, the things that I was like a little bit like, I wish I would have shown that a little bit more. I wish I would have spoke about it. They're examples of that, and they not shy. It's not like a bad thing. It's almost like they there to show it, and it's there, and it's like
and
I'm
that's
not
your thing, right?
Yeah,
there's not fumble it and to teach it, or you're gonna have to repeat it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So I'm literally fighting through all that little different because there's things in her mom. Me and her mother's not together, but there was things when I separated from her that I was forced to have to look at and deal with her and her reactions. And then she was so big on, the visual, like my daughter looks just like me, so she has to eat that pill.
Oh.
You know what I mean? But I have to eat the pill that, like, I was like, I would be good if she looked like you. I just wanted to act like you. So you know what I mean? So, like, it's literally, but they are our teachers. And I say that because, like, even at times, I feel like I'm failing. Just because
I know what you mean.
The universe is going to give you these. And so, like, when you put the glasses on, the consciousness, there's no taking them off. You cannot take them off. And Dick Gregory just said the same.
Mine once expanded.
I saw that video.
You see that video?
Yeah,
I saved it.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Which one? It's a video with.
Man.
Yo, you gotta pull up. It's a video of Dick Gregory on Instagram, but he was talking about. He said it's kind of like when you're anointed, you can't take it off.
No,
you wear
you cannot.
this.
You're born that way. We're born that way.
You can't go. You can't turn it back off.
The mind, once expanded by a new idea, never returns to its original dimensions.
Yeah.
Right? Even if you want to go back, you can, bro. You can.
Like I remember when
you gotta graduate yourself in order to do that.
Like,
you repeat
you repeat it.
I remember when I first met you and we just talking about it and stocks stuff like that. It's like when I talked to you, I realized why a lot of people probably ran from you. Like I swear to God. Oh yeah, this is it right here. When he said that, they hit me. Oh yeah, go back. You probably got it. I'm gonna follow. I hit yours. So I'll show you. Yeah, that's the one he's on. That one, but he was telling the truth though.
Yeah, he turned brother artist.
Oh man,
he could go.
It was. I think he came to a conference in Chicago and like that's where I'm from, Chicago.
Okay,
yeah. So he came. This back when he was alive. I was like in high school. I remember like I heard a little bit about him from like my grandmother and my dad. And when I forgot where he was at. He was at like the big university. They sold out like 3 hours. I was like, bro, like what are you talking about? I was like, what is he doing?
Just like that.
And I had to do research and I realized how
and everybody
how thorough he was with information, how thorough he was with just learning about nutrition, health, and just the body. And I was like, man.
Right.
But yeah, man. But to go back to the children part, the one part that always blew my mind about like just having kids. Another movie that really hit upon that was Interstellar. I don't know if you saw it.
See that.
It's a cold movie. I'm a big science fiction type of guy. I'm always into like third dimension type stuff or like different dimension. It's with what's his name? Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
Pretty much.
I remember the name.
Yeah. So it's pretty much the world lost all the resources. Like food. People getting cancer. The food is drying out. Not enough water. The oceans is drying out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Something to watch.
It's so crazy because he's like, everybody's put into this scenario. It's like, okay, cool. We're not entertaining nothing that cannot be of value to our earth. So, like, hey, I want to be active. You're not being active. You're a farmer. You're an engineer. Like, it was literally, they talking, the first scene is when he go to his daughter's school and they was like, yeah, your son, he need to work on farming. Like, what is he doing? Reading his book, and it was like I'm watching it. I was like, what the? And it's like, but they was in a post-apocalyptic type world. Like after we survived this drought, now we here. Now we're only doing it.
Left Behind. Yeah.
We're not in the same. None of this.
Left Behind?
And and the crazy part about the movie is they had an opportunity. One of the scientists who worked at NASA. It was all in Houston. One scientist worked at NASA. They was like, they found the research. It was like, oh, we found the planet. It's kind of like inhabitable, but we don't have any people who are science because now they have a generation of people who's farmer or engineer. We don't have nobody who's into that understanding of space exploration. So now like, damn, we kind of just shot ourselves in the foot. We could go here, but ain't nobody. The father is though. The father studied. He was an astronaut. He ended up, I think, retiring, stuff like that. So he still had all the knowledge. But he was like, we still into this farmland. So, okay, cool. So they asked him, hey, we can possibly save the world, but you got to leave. And he have a daughter who's 11 years old. And it's the scene in the movie how you like, I don't care how hard y'all be like, and so he's talking to his daughter like, he said something that blew on. He said, I'm finna go away. And if anybody know about space movies, outside of our element, time moves different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there is like 5 years when it took us 1 year. So he was like, I'm gonna be gone for a little bit, but who knows? I may come back. You might be the same age I am now when I come back. And she looked at him like, what? Because he was 37, and she said it. So, but she was crying, this and that. Long story short, he ended up going to this planet. Okay, they have water, they have everything we need. But the problem is, we need to find the information we need here, and we need to leave, because if we spend an hour here, it's 20 years on Earth. Swear to God, it's crazy seeing the movie. They end up, it was an EMP blast, blew out the engine, so he couldn't go back to the shuttle. So, and he's like crying. He's losing mind. He said, because literally, if I be here for 1 hour, it's 20 years on Earth.
Yeah.
So literally, they was there for about an hour and 30 minutes. There was a black dude on the shuttle, so they was all on this one shuttle, and they went from different planets. But they had to keep the shuttle right there, so they especially go to different planets. So when they went to this planet and got the EMP burst, damn, we gotta go back. They finally made it back to the shuttle. The dude had gray hair. He had black hair. He was like, yeah, hey, hurry up, guys, come back. He doing his paperwork. They came back. He got gray hair. He's like, man, I was trying to do the car sleep, but I just got so lonely. And throughout the movie, the kids can do like a FaceTime chat and leave a message and go there. She left a message from when she was a kid to when she became a grown adult. She said, well, Dad, I hope you come back, because I'm the age that you said when you left. So she ended up being 37 years old when she left the last, and I was like, and in the movie, you see him balling, and you be like, and it was just like moments like, God damn, like, and he was questioning like, man, why did I do this? He said, was it worth the greater good or not knowing her? And my son, like, what, like, I just missed 27 years, and it was like,
And that's the part right there, bro, that gets me, because it's, like, I don't want to get too, because everybody has their own religion, but if you died on the cross and you died literally, it's for everybody.
Have the same
Right. So it's that kind of mentality of a selfless type of individual, because like they want us to see, like our daughter, like I do not care any less for my child that I left so that she can have and all her people happy.
Facts. And that's what I was gonna say.
The group village type of mentality but it's gonna make us seem that as though that we're selfish, or because we chased this dream of whatever that thing was, but that thing that was the thing that was gonna literally help everybody.
Yes,
everybody's eating because that sacrifice.
Exactly,
because of the sacrifice.
But they don't see it until it's over. Like, I'm sorry for cutting you off. But one of the things that like I literally had to force myself and feed myself into the reality of that. Like when I joined the Navy and I was away from my daughter, probably like a year and a half. I'll tell you my story. And I was like trying not to cry. I'm on the phone with her crying sometimes. So I couldn't be there for the birthdays, and I was like, and then coming back home to readjust and stuff, and I was like, and the part that made me mad is that the family wasn't there to support her and let her understand it. Yo, what your father's doing in the long run ripples effect for generations to come. What you're doing, it wasn't like I was out there blowing money, not networking, understanding the value of what we're doing. We leave Chicago, coming here, be around better people, having a house, doing the things that I never dreamt of. Like, her mother grew up in the projects. Like, her mother didn't know her father. Like, for me to be able to put us in a position that you never grew up in an apartment, you have a house. And you never knew the ideology of what a struggle was, to have somebody that loves you, that's there for you constantly, that's giving you this help, and just, but all I had to do was sacrifice this small period of time, but all they see is that. So so forever now it's like, oh, Dad never cared about me, he left. And then you have other, and excuse my French, I have other older black women who are bitter, that was in my white family, that looked at what I did was selfish. So instead, they not saying it to my daughter, of course, but they not hiding on you. So now you're fighting this everlasting battle of what you doing is completely noble. Can't nobody ever like what you saying. Like, what you doing is like, bro, you see this is noble. This is the most beautiful thing in the world. But to them, due to emotions and other problems that transpire, they can't see it. It's to the point when it got so sad. Me and my dad was talking. He said, "Sometimes, son, I'm not gonna lie to you, you're paving something so forward that you might not see it in your lifetime. It might not get that gratification. It's like, oh, Grandpa did that. I appreciate that. Oh, that might be 3 generations. Somebody like, all it took was him."
And that part right there, what you said, is the part makes philosophers philosophy. Philosophize and theorists theorize science. You know what I mean? Because Nikola Tesla was as smart and a genius and recognized as he was at that level. He ain't nowhere near the level which he should have gotten, which he's getting now.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Or, what I mean? And I just look at it, what I mean, just from the from the movie that you was just talking about, the intercellular cell. I want to say cellular because I think about cells, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But when we think about that, it's literally putting in place our thought process of how we have to. What was it? I was going. I gotta retract my thought.
That's all good.
Yeah. I don't know. My mind kind of once it goes, it be
Yeah,
going.
I'm the same. I'll be like, I'm like, damn, why you interrupt? That's all.
I know.
And I'll do it on my own too sometimes. Just because
it's powerful though, man. It's funny you said it though, but I'm learning to just appreciate everything that I thought was wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I told it to my father recently. We talked about something. And I said, all our life, especially as black men, they always try to put a stigma on us of like what's wrong. And then as I got older, I realized that, like you're saying, like what you good at and what somebody else might think is a weakness, it probably ain't a weakness. It just at this period of time is not valued high. Mm-hmm. But at one period of time, your imagination, for you to be able to imagine something that's so far beyond what your reach is, somebody like, yo, man, he's super creative. Like, I love having him in the let's somebody might value that amazingly, but we in a world with like 2 + 2 is 4. What are you talking about? Like I don't care about it. And it's like it takes a real leader. It takes a real man. It takes another level.
Say, in order for somebody to smell the flower, somebody has to die, decompose right away for the soil to give way to the flower to be shown in a new day, right? So. Like, that's literally, the foresight of being ahead of your time. Like, literally, you have to be okay with that. Like, Like, not, like, now everybody's in this, I'm going to give you your flowers before you go. Like, Nori, drink champs, and all that type of stuff. Right, so everybody's in the, once again, the gratification and getting that now. When I came into this, I had to understand that, look, it's not for me to, long as my daughter, that's the only thing I pray is that she knows and understands what her dad was doing and why he was doing those things. Because just like, we talk about Garvey, I cannot, and it attracts me all the time because I think about how we formulate our reality, right? So that's always the thing that we talk about, like, your condition of thinking literally creates your environment and all that. We going, but I'm like, J. Edgar Hoover created the reality for a lot of us black people of why we're not connected, since the days of, and if you have that level of success, what makes you think? I'm talking about this the feds, 199.6%, rate, man, of success rate that they have. Why would you think that they have given that up now, and they've been successful since they started with that brother there? And Fred Hampton, and Malcolm, and Martin, and Black Panther, and the list goes. So what makes you think that they're not intricately playing a part and a role right now in today's society, no matter how strong my brain and concept is?
I have to speak on that because I told it to my wife, I told it to my brothers, I even told it to a guy at my job, which I probably shouldn't, but it was just, when I watched the movie, it hit me because, one, I'm from Chicago, so I know people that was, I grew up not that far away from the original house.
Okay.
So, so like, I was hearing stories, but like, I heard about Fred Hampton before I knew exactly who he was before all that. So when I got done asking my grandmother about she grew up in the 60s, the part that blew my mind was before I watched the movie, my grandmother told me stories about these Chicago police officers who was bragging about they killed them. And one of the things that blew my mind that always to this day bothered me, exactly what she said, why you think they have an intricate part in our lives to this day was, my grandmother said, after the movie came out, I said, hey, grandma, you watched the movie? She said, no. I said, why not? She said, because, for example, they did to Marcus Garvey. She, just like they said, they did to Marcus Garvey. They killed Malcolm X. She said, all these people, they still got a chokehold on everything now. It's so disrespectful they playing that movie. Because that's telling people, like we still doing it.
Yeah.
Like that's literally
And it
like,
gives fear.
Yeah.
It feeds fear.
Exactly. That's why they keep putting out all these horrifying movies about killing black people and shit.
Bro,
and it keeps them, I ain't gonna do nothing because they gonna just kill me.
Like when he said, I gotta kill the Black Messiah. When J. Edgar Hoover, like he was literally preaching that and being about that. Two questions. When I saw it, I asked my wife, I said, bro, like ain't nobody gonna indict the FBI? Like ain't nobody gonna say like this is crazy? And I said to myself, I know when they was doing this, somebody was like, yo, you think that's still happening right now? Like, I was like, I wonder if somebody on set low was like, yo, you think? Because I know when you get deep into a movie, you be reading the script, but I know somebody back in their mind was like, yo, this shit probably still happening. Like, that's when, like we were just saying, like, I'm like,
unquestionably.
But, and that's why I have such a problem with people who, that's why I cringe when I come around black people who are like, who are just so in this existential world that, no, we're all human beings and, we're not in slavery anymore. And like people like that, like when I say I cringe, like I don't engage